Our next guest is the Manager of Strategic Communications at Infront Sports and Media. Anja Luethi is also a former tennis player and captain at her alma mater, the University of New Orleans. She additionally served as a venue manager at the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Anja describes herself as a highly motivated businesswoman who wants to inspire people and make a difference. I'm your host, Lorraine Lucy. Join me as I get to know Anja Luethi better and follow her journey in sports so far. Anja, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. Thank you for having me.
Before we begin, I'd like to start off the sessions with an icebreaker. Are you ready for that?
I hope so.
Okay, let's find out then, shall we? What's your favorite quote, expression, or motto, and why is it your favorite?
Okay, good question. I think it's going to be a bit of an obvious, boring one, maybe. But for me, it's actually, I would say, Just Do It by Nike. It's really been just something I think that accompanied me throughout my life. And I believe that I always have had and still have this kind of can-do attitude. So yeah, this quote just really fits me that, yeah, just do it because you can.
I really like that quote as well. And sometimes I get so mad because I'm like, they took a really good one that now, like, it's just so obvious. And I would have wanted to be the one to come up with it because it's just so effective. But I was maybe born a bit too late.
Exactly. I think we're too young. But yeah, no, it's short and sweet to the point. So
Absolutely. But take us back to when you first started getting involved in sports. What attracted you to sports and how did you get started?
I mean, I got started with sports really, really early in my life, thanks to my family. I have a very sporty and athletic family. So from the day I was pretty much born, I was exposed to it. So my dad put me on skis before my second birthday because this is his true passion. And I grew up with that. And my mom had different interests. I have an older brother that then went into football, then ice hockey. So I was just always around sports. And yeah, fortunately enough, our parents always encouraged us to be active and to try all kinds of different things. From a small age, I was able to do all kinds of sports and just try what I like, what I don't like so much, like individual sports, team sports, and yeah, this is pretty much how I got involved.
Mm-hmm. And then you also then ended up playing tennis and being captain of your team at New Orleans, the University of New Orleans. But at the same time, so this question is like a loaded question. But at the same time, while you were doing that, you managed to achieve a 3.9 GPA in your bachelor's degree and a 4.0 GPA in your master's degree. Like, talk us through that experience. Like, how did you manage to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very fair to say that the whole college experience in the US was a once in a lifetime experience. It was one of the best 5 years, if not the best 5 years of my life. Still today, like if someone asks me, you want to relive it, I sign up and I fly tomorrow. It's just really is such a big life lesson that gives you so much more than the sport and more than the school and education. I think I went there with a super open mindset of, I'm more than 8,000 kilometers away from any family and friends and people that I know, but I'm going there, I'm open to it and just open to learn, to train, to improve and to meet great people. And yeah, I think that really played into my advantage of being open to embrace whatever comes at me. And this is kind of how I went about it throughout the 5 years that I spent at the University of New Orleans. And of course, balancing everything is not always so easy, especially thinking that, you go there at the age of 18, 19. So you might have also other things in your head than training and studying. And you're there with a bunch of other 18 and 19-year-olds in the same boat. But I think it really boils down to, I think somewhat of a set of values that I was taught growing up by my parents, and knowing what's important to me, knowing what priorities I have. And I think just following that with really the end goal in mind, that I want to achieve a great education, get away with good degrees. So this was the end goal, while obviously performing my best on the sports side. So I just kind of knew my end goal, the plan that I needed to achieve that. So yeah, at the end of the day, I just, as always, if you were somewhat pro athlete during all your life, you have to prioritize. You have to really manage your time well. But at the end of the day, if you manage to do that, you end up having the best time of your life and having plenty of time to have fun with your friends as well.
What I'm hearing is that you went from like hobby, as in like your family's really into sports, to then 18, 19, you're doing college sports in the US, and then to being at Infront. So you've made like many different pivots, but within the sports industry. I guess, when did you know that you wanted to actually do it within the sports context, that you'd want to stay within sports instead of doing sort of something similar in another industry? Like, how did you approach those transitions and pivots?
I would say, me coming from such a sporty background personally, I always had a very big interest in sports and in the sports industry. And that's where my personal passion lies. So for me, it was always somewhat of a dream to combine my passion with my profession. So sports being my biggest passion, it was always my biggest dream that one day I can combine my career, my professional career, with my personal passion, because then actually you still work and you work hard, but it doesn't feel always like so much hard working, because you're just loving what you do. So this was really my end goal. And yeah, what I tried to do during my university time, in the summer when I went back home, I always tried to do some internships if possible, of course, to also receive a little bit of pocket money, but more to also just, learn what is out there. Yeah, get experiences, try out different positions to see what do I like, what am I interested in, what is maybe not so much my cup of tea. And there I was really fortunate enough that I had 2 internships in the sports industry as well. So one was with Swiss Tennis, so the Swiss Tennis Federation. There I was able to do a marketing internship. And the other one was a company called For Sports, which is also a marketing management company. So these were 2 internships that I was able to do in the sports industry, where I learned a lot. I understood, okay, the marketing communication side is already something that I really enjoy. Plus, the sports industry is it's just wow. It's just every day you go to the office and you're having fun, you're loving what you do. No matter if you need to do a boring task, it's like, oh, wow, but it's about tennis. Oh, it's about ice hockey. So it's not so bad. So, yeah, I think so. Just step by step, throughout my life, I just really realized that this is where my true passion lies. And I try to do everything to make it happen at the end.
Completely understand. And you mentioned that playing college sports in America was a highlight of your life, the best 5 years of your life, that you would, if you could go back again and do it, you would. But what other career highlights can you remember?
I mean, I would say from an athlete side, so from the tennis perspective, there's endless memories that I was able to make with my family and friends. Also, traveling to international tournaments at the age of 14 around Europe. So this was all just, yeah, great memories that I can share with friends. And, you reconnect with someone you didn't see for 15 years and like, oh, wow, remember that tournament we played in Malta? It was crazy windy. So it's just something that no one can take away from you. And then, of course, one of my personal highlights of the college career was also that I was very fortunate enough to meet my partner at the university. at the end. So now 6 years later, we moved back to Switzerland. So that's obviously something that we were only fortunate to do because we both happened to play college tennis in the same state in the US. So yeah, really lucky on that end. And I think from a career perspective, it's the same. You know, I've been so fortunate to experience what I've experienced so far. And when I started with Infront, not 3 years ago, but in August 3 years ago, that was already a career highlight. You know, I'm like, tick the box, I'm in the sports business. You know, my foot is in the door. Now I just have to keep working hard. And then within Infront as well, there's so many experiences that I was able to make already. But of course, the definite highlights are one you already mentioned. I was able to go to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar as a venue manager. So I was in charge of a stadium and of the sponsorship activations from our owner, Wanda Sports. So that was, of course, a once in a lifetime experience, probably. And on a bit of a smaller level, but similar tasks, I was able to be venue manager for the Champions Hockey League, where I was in charge of a team in Switzerland. So this was also really cool to just see behind the scenes, since Infront markets the whole Champions Hockey League, to just make sure, you know, everything is on point, all the branding, all the video, all the graphics, TV. So yeah, it's just really interesting to get a real look behind the business and behind the whole value chain that Infront services to the sports industry.
I could listen to you all day.
I could talk all day.
It's very obvious the how much sports has given back to you, because sometimes when we talk about like business, working, it can feel like so much of like you're giving something to you're giving out something, but I can see very well that you get so much joy and you get so much memories and just joy from sports.
Definitely. No, definitely. And I mean, it's as you say, it gives so much back. And I mean, these highlights that I mentioned, these are very much linked to sports, but then there is other highlights in the position where I am as a strategic comms manager. So I'm in charge of the external events, also like the industry events where I like do how Infront presents itself, if we have a masterclass, a stage slot, all of this. And this just allows me also to connect with so many different people and stakeholders. And I mean, you know it best. We met at one of them 2 years ago, and this is how we got in touch. And we're still every now and then finding each other on LinkedIn. And I think this is just the power of sports. You know, sports truly unites people in so many different ways. And yeah, I just love it.
And then where does the marketing part come in? Is it because it's similar to sports in the sense that it's all about people, it's all about making sure that you're really resonating and you're really like, where does the love for marketing fit into this love of sports?
Yeah, I think it's just really putting the message out there and conveying the message of what power sports has. And I think, you know, through Infront, of course, we are very much on the B2B side. But even then, you know, like just putting the message out there, moving people. And of course, it's B2B, but behind every other company we work with, there's people. And if we can reach those people, excite those people, motivate them, then we can truly create something great together in a partnership. And I think this is what the end of the day sport is all about.
Completely understand. One of the things you do as part of your work at Infront is looking at future trends in sports. Can you tell us a little bit about like some of the trends in sports at the moment that are worth following?
Sure, I can try. I'm no trend expert, but I mean the things that I just see also on a daily business on my desk is of course AI. I think we all know that AI is not only really having a big influence in the sports industry, but across all of our lives. But yeah, of course, AI in sports is massive. it can really help you in the content creation, in the content distribution on various levels, be in the production or on the broadcast, or even for us, like social media, blogs, website. It can just really support you and help you allocate your resources as best as possible. As I mentioned, on the production side, we use AI to optimize streamings. There is immersive replay technology that's used with AI and the different cameras. So there's just so much where AI really plays part. Another example would be in our active lifestyle sector. We have with Sportograph and Marathon Photo, we have event photography. So, for example, the different marathons that are in our portfolio, they're photographed by them, and through AI technology, they can do read the bib numbers and read the faces and directly allocate. So, as soon as your race is done, you can log in with your, of course, secret profile, and there you have all the pictures from the event, and not days after, but minutes after. So this is all really through AI, and I think it just really enables the sports industry so much. Another thing is that I just see, in our business is, I think the whole active lifestyle sector is trending, I would say, which is obviously for me also great to see that so many more people are just becoming more active, paying more attention to their health and to their well-being, and are conscious. I think I should probably move a little bit, or I should see that I'm, trying to eat a bit more balanced, things like this. And I think this is obviously coming from the pandemic that we experienced, that there is this new level of health consciousness, I would say, that people are just realizing, look, there's things that are not in our hands. So I'll try to do my best in the areas that I can actually control. And I just think it's great. You see it every day in the communities. There's more people just, even going outside for a walk, or the tennis club is growing, and all of this. That's one thing. And another thing, which I don't like to call a trend, because in my opinion, it shouldn't be a trend, but it's nice to see that women's sports is finally gaining more attraction and getting the attention that it deserves, and more than deserves. This is just fantastic to see that the world is finally catching up to it. And I just hope it keeps going up. I think it's clear the value that lies in women's sports. It's clear that in so many different sports, it's super attractive to watch. Their techniques, their speed, their agility, it's just so great. Like, they're fantastic athletes. So I'm glad that it's finally growing. And I think last but not least, it's the entire conversation around ESG and sustainability, CSR. This is just growing more and more. I think also due to various reasons that we experience across the globe, which I think it's very important, and I think it affects all of us. And everyone should do as much as they can to help society and help our lovely planet.
Absolutely. You've mentioned a few times about Infront, and when I introduced you at the beginning as well, I mentioned about Infront. Maybe it might be a good idea to tell the listeners a bit more about what Infront is and what you do, etc., etc.
Sure, happy to do so. Infront, we are one of the leading sports marketing agencies globally, and we actually cover the entire value chain when it comes to the sports industry. So this means that we work together with countless rights holders, so federations, clubs, and other properties, to help them improve their sports, their experiences, to then reach the ultimate goal, the end fans. This includes the production, this includes media rights, this includes marketing rights, so sponsorship, event operations, digital solutions, as well as hospitality. So we really cover the full value chain in the sports industry to bring it to the end consumer at the end of the day.
Wonderful, wonderful. And like what practical, because we've spoken a bit about trends and what's happening currently in the industry, but what practical things do you think sports organizations should be doing today if they want to remain relevant to their supporters and society at large?
Mhm. That's a very good question. I think in today's world, this is not only for sports organization, but very much counts for them as well, is they have to understand their audience. So they really have to understand who are we dealing with. So as a sports organization, they of course have to cater to all their stakeholders and sponsors and make sure they are doing the right things to keep them on board. Where I see a big trend into the whole sustainability aspect. More and more brands are demanding like actual like actions during in this direction of sports organizations, to just go a joint way in that direction. But then at the end of the day, of course, also the fans is one of the most important audiences for sports organizations. So I think they truly have to understand their fans. They truly have to find ways to not only retain their fan base but gain new ones, because we unfortunately do age. So at some point there's just new and new generations coming, so they need to figure out ways to attract new generations all the time. I think definitely nowadays it's all about personalized experiences. So with the understanding of their fan base, they need to be able to cater to them in personalized ways. So for example, me, I would like to have the highlight videos of every game. You might like to hear the highlights in a podcast version, then someone else wants it on Instagram, and all these things. They have to understand it and be able to deliver. And I think one way to do it, but also to just keep developing the organization, is that they really have to keep an eye on trends and innovations, where obviously technology plays a pivotal role. And they have to actually be brave enough at the end of the day to say, we invest in this trend or in this technology and try it out. And I think, we all know, I would say that the sports industry is still rather conservative. So I think it just really needs, the braveness and the courage to be brave and to try something new and to try different trends and innovations.
Mm. You have obviously had such a long career in sports because you started at a very young age and you've had many pivots in sports. But I'm interested to know, like, what impact are you trying to make in the world or within the sports world? Or are you mostly just enjoying? Are you here for the ride that is giving so much joy to you?
I think it's a bit of both. Of course, I'm enjoying it, and I do think, no matter how hard you work, you should be able to enjoy what you do as well. So I'll definitely do that, and I do focus on this as well, that I enjoy what I do and not, oh no, now I have to go to work again. So this, of course, but no, I would like to make a difference. At the end of the day, I cannot put it into words of how big or little this will be whenever I'm done with my career in 30 years or so. But my goal is to make a difference, to hopefully be able to inspire people. And honestly, for me, there is still way too few women in the sports industry, and too few, I would say, strong women or women in a certain position where they are heard, they are seen, they are listened to. So if I would be able to reach any of that at some point, that would obviously be absolutely phenomenal. Not only for my career personally, but also because I think then I'm actually able to inspire people, because then maybe other girls, in their young age, they might see these people and you can act as a role model, because, when you see yourself in someone, you also get the feeling, hey, I can do this as well. So if I'm able to do this at the end of the day, then I'm happy.
Who has been your biggest inspiration, though? I'm quite curious to know that.
That is a question. Honestly, I hope she's not going to be mad, but I think it's my dad. If people that know our family, they always say I'm literally the identical twin of my dad, just a few years later, and in the female version, because we are apparently so much alike. No, but I think for my dad is, obviously, I hope every kid is able to say that he's the perfect dad. But I just seen him all my life working so hard to build something that makes a difference, leaves an impact, and inspires people. He was an oncologist, so he was truly able to do that. And just witnessing him year by year, how he was able to help so many people and in the most difficult situations in their lives, to put a smile on their face and to motivate them, while also raising our family and literally being at every single tournament of mine or at every single hockey game of my brother. I just think he did it perfectly. And if I can do it a little bit like this in my life, then I think I did well.
I wish this entire podcast was video, because I just want people to get the appreciation of like how much you're smiling when you're talking about this, and how much you're smiling when you answer all the questions, because it's really something that's that's like soul level, that's to the core of who you are. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And are there any exciting things that you're currently working on right now that our listeners should check out?
Of course, we're always working on exciting things. No, jokes aside. I mentioned already a few times the whole active lifestyle movement, which, I personally am somewhat invested too, and just think it's super motivating. So one of them, which is going through the roof currently, is Hyrox. It's the global fitness racing competition. It was actually a race in Copenhagen a few weeks back. I don't know if you've even joined, maybe, or you saw it.
I haven't joined, but I saw it because it was part of Fast Car's 50 most innovative companies. And I think it was like number 41 or something like that.
Exactly. So I think that recognition by the Fast company already says a lot. And our team at Hyrox, as well as our whole active lifestyle unit at Infront, is working tirelessly. The event is growing. There's new events in new countries coming like all the time, and there's so many people across the globe joining the Hyrox train now and competing and training. So this is just really, really fantastic to see. And I'm debating the second half of the year, I might join the movement too and sign up for my first Hyrox race. But tennis comes first, so I have to finish the season. I think this is definitely something. So check it out and have a look, sign up and compete. It's gonna take it all out of you. And the other part is very much on the digital and technology side. A few weeks back, together with Infront Lab, which is our tech and innovation arm, we launched Engines 365, which is a new digital product suite that we developed specifically for sports organization to help them improve the fan experience from A to Z. And this obviously also includes the monetization of their digital efforts and all of that. And it consists of 5 core products that cater to the various needs. So there's a stream engine that offers personalized OTT solutions. There is content engines and activation engines, which really help, if you have the broadcast of your match, it cuts it into the highlights. It helps you share it automatically on your different social media channels. So it just really helps sports organization not only save resources, but definitely improve their fan experiences. And of course, whereas possible, include some monetization elements as well. So at the end of the day, I think it's a win-win for all the stakeholders that are involved. And it's just really exciting and a really interesting new product suite. So yeah, it's Engines 365, and check it out. And our colleagues are super happy to do any demos and answer questions.
So just so I understand you clearly, is Hyrox part of the same sort of?
Yes, Hyrox is a part of Infront. We are a charity shareholder of Hyrox. So we have our active lifestyle unit has many businesses that we are either full owner or majority owner or partially owner of them. So of Hyrox, we are majority owner. There's other themed fitnesses that we have. One of them is Xletics and Xletics Kids. This is an obstacle race through the mud as well. So this is very much also great for families. And, actually with the Xletics Kids, we broke a world record last year for the biggest obstacle race events for kids with over, I believe, 6,000 participants. So yeah, we're just really trying to push the healthy and active lifestyle to the society across the globe, starting from a young age.
You weren't exaggerating when you said that you're giving value across different value points for the. Now I hear that it sounds like there's no dull day at Infront. But if anyone who's listening wants to build a long and fruitful career like you, that's also exciting, and wanted advice, what advice would you give them?
I think to start off with, you have to understand what you want and what your interests are. So you have to kind of, I don't know, for example, make maybe like a mind map of the things that interest you to try and put it together. I got this advice from my godfather back in the day to list my 10 favorite companies that I would dream of working for. And at first I thought this is super random, and I did it, and 9 out of the 10 ended up sports companies. So he's like, so yeah, I think you definitely are going in the right direction if you choose the sports industry. So there is these kind of mind games that you can do to try and figure out where your true interests and passion lies. And once you figure that out, I think it's, for me, very important, my 3 things: to be able to get out of your comfort zone, always have an open mindset, and always have a can-do attitude. Just don't be afraid, take on challenges, figure it out, ask for help if you need, because many are afraid to ask, but just ask if you need. People are usually super happy to help you and to help you succeed and improve. So yeah, I think those are my main recommendations.
And just do it.
And just do it. Exactly.
And if people wanted to reach out to you after this call, where can they reach out?
I think they can reach out best on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if you're gonna share or tag me, or I think LinkedIn is absolutely the easiest, and once we're connected there, we can move on.
Thank you so very much for a wonderful conversation, Anja.
Thank you as well, Lorraine.
Yeah.